Record. Today in our webinar, we have a very special guest, Mark Hayward. He's one of the OG Innovega investors. He's been around the company for many years and has a great experience seeing our journey, participating in many different ways. And I thought this would be a wonderful opportunity for Mark to kind of share his story, share his insights and perspective on the company's journey. And then again, we're also here for everyone's questions. So we would love you guys to stay on till the end. And if your questions come up during the presentation, as always, please leave them in the chat and we'll do our best to get to everybody's questions. I do ask if you can mute your mics up until the end, would be much appreciated. And this is for everyone visiting. So we want to get you as much value as possible, as always. So please be transparent, please be forthright. We're all on this journey together, and we look forwards to um, getting on the same page and moving forwards with excitement. So, Mark, I would love for you to just give us a brief understanding for how you originally got involved with Innovega, how you heard about us, and how your unofficial role has kind of transformed over time.
Well, thank you, Joseph. Can you hear me clearly?
Yep.
Yeah. I met Steve maybe about 10 years ago. He had been a CEO of some companies local here. I'm in Seattle, Washington. And he told me about what he was doing with Innovega. And I was very intrigued because I've always kind of had a passion for helping people, and I invest in a lot of companies. So I met with him. He told me about what Innovega was doing, and pretty much immediately I invested in the company and been kind of following what they've been doing over the last, uh, you know, 6 or 7 years and watching their technology grow. And about 2 years ago, I met with Steve again and said, I'm really intrigued about what you're doing. I would like to learn more about it. And so I had the opportunity to visit the lab in San Diego and actually see a demo and individuals be able to put on the glasses. And I was pretty much just blown away at the how would I say, just the emotions that each one of these patients or people uh, showed. And I mean, words can't describe how I felt after that. And I was very fortunate at that time to meet a gentleman by the name of Isaac, which maybe a lot of you have seen on the video that we have. And basically, he came down to the laboratory and he had the opportunity to put on the glasses and left the lab that day, went home and wrote Steve, which is the CEO of Innovega, a letter and basically said, all my life I've dreamt about what it'd be like to have 20/20 vision. And today, for the first time in my life, I experienced it. And and Steve shared that with me. And I was just like, that is so moving. So I said, Steve, let me reach out to him. I reached out to Isaac. I said, hey, Isaac, I kind of help Innovega a little bit. What could we do for you? And basically he said, hey, Mark, I'm trying to get to Florida to qualify for the Paris Olympics. And I said, great. How can we help you? And we talked for a little bit and I said, great. Well, we want to sponsor you. So in Innovega, we sent him a check. We helped him get to Florida. He qualified for the Paris Olympics. He went on to go to Paris and win a silver medal, and basically came back to the lab and met with us and basically said, during that time, I was kind of down a little bit. And Innovega believed in me. And what I got to experience at the lab was so overwhelming. You guys just lifted my spirits. Well, he came back to our lab. He won a silver medal at Paris Olympics. He took his jersey, he signed it, and gave it to Steve at Innovega, and it sits on the wall at Innovega today. And that is just, that just kind of tells you the story to all you shareholders that are on this webinar today. I wish that you guys could experience what I have seen because it would really, really, really move you. And this company is doing some amazing things, and what they have been doing over the last couple of years, attracting some of the smartest engineers, some of the top doctors in the country that are joining Innovega. It's just it's pretty cool. So that's kind of my story. And Joseph, you want to ask me something else or?
Yeah, I want to ask a million things, and I'm also going to remind everyone if you have questions for Mark as well, feel free to leave them in the chat, and we'd love your input. Um, so this isn't a session just to say nice things about the company, but I do appreciate that there are great things to say because in my experience within Avega, yes, they're a technology company, but it's a very human first organization. So the technology, from what I've seen, is being developed really closely in line with the patients and the users that we're hoping to serve. Mark, you've had a really good experience with multiple patients, Isaac being one of them. Do you mind maybe telling us about your experiences with Megan and her husband Reed, or any of the other low vision patients you've seen that have, Paul, that have come to experience the demo, shared some of their real world complications that vision loss can bring, and how just some basic insights into what these products can do can truly transform, their daily living experience and the living experience of their loved ones.
Yeah, I would love to. So during that time, I live in Seattle, Washington, and again, to each and every one, I bet there's not a day that goes by that I don't tell somebody about Innovega or share the story about Isaac or share many stories about the company. And one of my friends, I was telling them about it, and they said, "Well, I have a friend that lives in Wenatchee, which is in Seattle, and she's got an eye issue, and her name is Megan." And I reached out to her and said, "Hey, we'd love you to come to the lab and come to one of our demo days." And so she volunteered to do it. She brought her husband, Reed, and her 9-month-old son. But prior to that, we had the doctor and myself on a call with her and asked her, "Hey, if there's anything we can do when you're there, what would you like to do?" And basically she said, "I'd like to be able to see my 9-month-old baby across the room and know if he is smiling or crying." And I was like, wow. Well, she came to the laboratory. She put on the glasses. She looked at her husband. She looked at her son and basically said, "I've never seen so clear in all my life." She said to her husband, she's to Reed, "I can see your color of your beard. I can see the color of your eyelash. I can see the color of your eyes." And this is all on film. And then her husband looks at Megan and says, "Well, now that you can see me for the first time, do you still want to be married to me?" And tears were kind of flowing. It was very moving. So that's just again, words can't describe that Innovega can change somebody's life in a blink of an eye, and the technology they're working on is just in the future. It's just going to be so bright what we can do for a lot of people. I had the awesome opportunity to meet a gentleman named Griffin and a couple other people there, Kim, that maybe you've seen on one of our videos that walks in with a guide dog, and she basically just put on the glasses. Same experience, just wow. So it's really moving. And Paul, I talk to Paul quite often. He's about 70 years old, and he basically told me, "Hey, me and my wife who travel around the world on boats, and I can't even recognize my wife when she's on the elevator with me." Well, he came to the laboratory, he put the glasses on, and basically said I could drive again. I could see. His dream is to go. He goes to almost every baseball game in San Diego, and it's very hard for him to see the field now and see the players. And he believes with the technology that we have, he'll be able to go to a baseball game again and to love what he loves to do and be able to watch a game. So, just patience after patience after patience. But I think most of all is meeting the team at Innovega, meeting the doctors that come in there, meeting the technology, meeting the engineers that a lot of you probably know behind the scenes don't get to see, that I've been fortunate enough to meet with them. And they've got a heart of gold. For some of these engineers that are working or have worked at some of the biggest technology companies in the world, that could work at any one of these companies. Five of the biggest technology companies in the world will hire them instantly. and they've chosen to work at Innovega. And I asked them, why would you work at Innovega, a small company, when you can work at $1 billion, $1 trillion company? And they're all responses because we're changing people's lives. This is so moving of what the technology and what the technology can do in the future, not only for the visually impaired, but in the gaming world. And some of you may know or not know that one of the largest gaming companies in the world have invested in Innovega for the future. So it's pretty cool what they're working on.
Appreciate that, Mark, and just thank you for sharing. For those of you that are kind of new to Innovega and don't know too much about our journey or our products, I just want to share that what Innovega is building, these smart glasses behind me and smart contacts, um, are initially primarily for those with low vision. So there's a micro camera in the glasses, and there's a proprietary technology that shows a projection screen of what the camera scene in the glasses displays themselves. The user, the wearer, whoever's wearing them has basically a digital prescription that you can change in real time. So you can bring things into focus. You can change the contrast and clarity of what you're looking at. And from what we've had feedback wise from our test patients, uh, helping with the simple things in life like that makes a massive difference. It can save people hours of time every day from taking photographs of everything they see and zooming in on it and holding the phone close to your face and trying to figure out what it is. So it really eliminates the need to do all kinds of things, gives you your life back and allows you to do things that perhaps you've never been able to do, or perhaps you used to be able to do and have lost that ability due to increasing vision loss. So those are the products. And again, I encourage everyone to ask questions in the chat if there's anything that you're confused on that we can help clarify. I would like to ask everyone here to put in the chat, do you or do you know anyone who has a visual impairment who you're interested in and hoping that these might be able to serve? If so, please let us know. Please say yes. Please say the vision condition you're hoping can be resolved. Stargardt's I see in the chat. Thank you, Dawn. That's we've been testing Stargardt's patients. Megan herself had Stargardt's and had fantastic results with our products. So this has been a learning process for me to learn about all of the different impairments and how they relate to one another and how we can benefit many of those conditions. Thank you, guys. Yes, my cousin, yes, my father-in-law has wet macular degeneration. The numbers of those people with vi significant visual impairments, I had no idea how massive that is. These are not just people that need regular reading glasses. These are people that, regular reading glasses cannot significantly help. And that's over 300 million people worldwide right now. Within 20 years, that number is going to grow to 500 million individuals. So that's really who we're looking to serve with these products initially is those with moderate to severe visual impairments who regular glasses cannot support. Speaking of regular glasses, Mark, I see you've got some regular glasses on your face. Have you tried the product yet, or are you only experiencing it through the eyes of our chest patients?
I have tried the glasses.
Great.
And I am so excited about what the future is going to do, not only for the visually impaired, but for everybody that wants to put on a pair of glasses and be on an airplane and watch a movie, or be at a game and be able to tap the pair of glasses, and just do all kinds of things. That's the future. It's probably technology I'm not supposed to talk about, but the future is very, very bright for Innovega.
I actually think it's a good opportunity for you to talk about the future because what Innovega is building is basically a wearable system. And the low vision initial use case is run through an app. But there's lots of deep vertical markets, as Steve likes to say, that this
Yes.
technology can be applied to, such as gaming, such as sports. So feel free to talk about kind of how you see these vertical markets developing beyond the low vision community and into some of the wider consumer markets.
And Joseph, are most of the people on the webinar investors or team member, or I'm not sure about that.
Well, People on the webinar, put in the chat. Are you an investor? This is your first time experiencing us? Are you looking to invest? Are you looking to hopefully get the product one day? Let us know who's here and we can talk directly to you.
Great. Well, for all of you that may not know, Innovega has over 80 patents that they have filed, and their first patent alone was over 100 pages. So that just tells you the depth of what Innovega has. And there's a lot of verticals that Joseph had mentioned: hearing, eyesight, um, all kinds of things that I've been pretty fortunate to be able to talk with Steve and some of the engineers of what's the future of Innovega. And there's a whole host of things that they're working on. And I would encourage each and every one of you, if you are prior investors, I would tell every one of your friends. I would post it on your Facebook, on your Instagram. Everything that Innovega is doing, maybe some of you know too that one of our videos it's got almost 4 million views now. And there's not a day that goes by that Joseph probably doesn't get an email or a letter from somebody around the world now asking, please, 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 how can my husband, how can my son, how can my mother, how can I get a pair of these glasses and help somebody? So the technology, every day there's something new that's happening in Innovega, and companies from around the world are paying close attention to what Innovega is doing. So
It seems in the webinar or in the chat that we have a combination of previous investors. Thank you everyone so much for being a part of this community, as well as those who are considering an investment for the first time. Um, Mark, help those of our community, our supportive community, understand our need and the importance of a capital injection at this stage in our journey. Again, you've been around for seven years or so. You've seen,
yep.
you've seen the development. You understand what's happening right now versus any other year in our history. So if you could just, in your own words, help people understand where we're at on our journey and why this is an inflection point and why our investor community specifically is so important in helping this journey come to a successful, initial close, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Joseph. To all you that are thinking about investing in Innovega, I truly believe that Innovega is going to be extremely successful. And for you to invest in the company, not only you investing in a company that could change somebody's life. So I hope you can touch your heart and say, hey, yes, I know I'd like to invest in a company and I'd like to get a return on that. And that is Steve's ultimate goal, is to take care of the shareholders. And he has taken a couple companies public in the past that have had tremendous success. But as always, we're in that critical stage right now in the company, and we're attracting some of the smartest engineers and doctors in the world that are helping us. And we need cash. We need to build the company to get the product to the market, and we're at that final stage right now. So I would encourage every one of you that have past invested, I would invest more. New investors, I would invest. Because I think it's going to be it's just incredible what the company is working on right now. And I thank Joseph for hosting these webinars, and I think that we should be doing more of those. And if any of you are ever in the San Diego area and actually want to do a demo day, when we do that, reach out to Joseph, and maybe you could be fortunate to be one of those that could come in and be able to experience that. But the company needs capital, and we need it. And we're doing well, but we need your help, and pass out the word to everybody that you can share with.
Thank you, Mark. There's a couple questions in the chat, and Mark also said if you're interested in a demo, send me an email. So if you really are interested in a demo, I'm going to put a link in the chat for where you can apply, and all applications are HIPAA compliant and go directly to our HIPAA officer and our clinical team. So I encourage you to go in the chat, look at the link and fill out the demo
But
app.
Joseph, and I would share to each and every one of you. For example, if anybody knows Elton John has an eye condition, we could help him. Steve Wynn, that owns the Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas, we could help him. So there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, movie stars, famous people around the world that have vision issues that Innovega could help. So and I truly believe that Innovega is a community, and every day somebody that we really don't know steps up and says, I can do this for Innovega. And we're just like, wow, that's amazing. So it's not just, hey, somebody there that says I can write a check for $500. And I think Joseph can share with you that we're on Start Engine right now, and everybody can invest a minimum of $500. And some people have invested $1 million. So anywhere from 500 to $1 million. But more important, do you know somebody that's really connected in the business world or the entertainment world? And one person could change the life of Innovega just like that. So sorry about rambling on, Joseph.
No, it's great. With this, these are freestyle. We're at 8:52, so I really want to address those who have left questions in the chat saying, I'm thinking about investing. I want to learn more. I want to try these products. What can we help answer for you today that will help give you clarity on that decision, and help bring you on board the Innovega team? We really are investor focused, as well as patient focused, and we always, listen first and act second. So feel free to share any questions you want, and we'll provide as much clarity as we can in this session, and also future sessions if you like. I do know we're planning a session in January with Dr. Arthur Zhang, who is our CTO, who did lead the development of the Apple Vision Pro, and now we're very lucky enough to have him on our team. So we encourage you to sign up for that webinar as well to get more of the technical questions answered. Um, okay, question in chat. Are you coming back to Ohio State for more trials or demos? Mike, at this time, I'm not aware of any intentions to go back to Ohio State. If things change, we'll make an announcement. But as of now, I don't believe so.
But I can make it real quick on that. Ohio State, that was a peer review, and that's one of the top ophthalmology universities in the country. And when they did the demonstrations for us, or the clinical trial they did with us, or the study they did with us, every single one of the patients that was in that study, it got equivalent of 20/20 vision when they put on the glasses. To the point that Steve, the CEO of Innovega, is like, I wonder if the doctors there picked all the patients that had the same eye condition. And of course they did not, because it was a peer review, it was written up. So pretty amazing that the results that they had in there. So anyways, we love Ohio State. So
All right. So just for legalities, I'm going to show you the actual statistics, um, which I wouldn't say that every single person got 20/20 vision, just because that's not going to happen for every single person. But here are the stats from that study. These are patients prior to testing for long distance, near acuity, and reading distance. If you're familiar with these numbers, these are very, low vision capabilities, significantly low. Legally blind is 2200. So this is almost legally blind, and this is beyond legally blind near acuity. These participants could not read at normal reading distances. So after wearing our Gen 2 combination of smart glasses and smart contacts, on average, patients were able to achieve 20/20 visual acuity. This doesn't mean that you can see literally everything in your severe 20/20 perfect crystal clear, but it does mean that the things they're focusing on, they were able to get 20/20 visual acuity, and that is the average for all patients. Near acuity, they were able to get 20/21, which is just about perfect vision. And for reading distance, we were able to improve the standard reading distance to up to 16 inches, for these patients. So the breakthrough was for these types of patients with, significant visual impairments, the glasses were able to achieve on average 20/20 visual acuity, as Mark shared, which was just a massive breakthrough. And there is a published paper on this.
And
So,
that's a prototype.
and that was the original prototype, and we've come a long way since then. So that was our experience with OSU, if for those that were unaware. Okay, I'm just going to go back to the chat and look at some of the questions. Anticipated price point and go-to-market schedule and price point. I can't make any clear announcements right now, but I can say that we will be having a pretty major update very soon regarding that. So please stay tuned, and you'll be hearing some clarity on the go-to-market plan and pricing points quite soon. Is there any time frame projection for a public offering? Once again, we're not allowed to speak on public offering plans at this point in our Reg CF fundraise, but I will say that Innovega has reserved the NASDAQ ticker symbol XRVR and reconfirmed that with the board. So it's definitely, and Steve has a history of taking companies public successfully. So it's definitely on our radar, and we're definitely making preparations if that's going to be the right call for Innovega as well. Investor here. Hey, Adrian, how is the prototype development going? Still on track for 2026? Absolutely. So, Adrian, I'm not sure if you've seen some of our recent campaign updates, but we have officially partnered with a design and engineering firm in Taiwan who is now working on our commercial grade full function prototypes. Those are expected to be ready by Q1, and by later in the year 2006, we expect full market ready commercialized products to be ready for purchase. Uh, I need capital that we can use to invest or help. I need capital that I can use to invest or help. I hope that you get it, and I know that we will put it to good use if it comes our way. Ray says, I'm waiting to hear from you on my request to come to San Diego. Ray, every demo request is reviewed by our team of clinicians, and you will receive a response. If you don't in a reasonable period of time, email social@innovega.io, and we'll be sure to follow up on your application for you. Don says, how many Innovega team members are low vision? Well, Mark, no, I'm just kidding, Mark. Do you have any idea? I don't know if there are team members with significant visual impairments. Are you aware of
I
any?
think I would say Isaac. Isaac's kind of a team member now. He's one of our advisors out there, and Griffin helps us a lot too. And the doctors, all their patients, uh, not actually that work at the company, but Paul, all to everybody on the webinar. When you get or become part of Innovega, when you come to the lab or you get closer to Joseph and the team, you become part of the family. And we want for you to give us advice how we can make our glasses better and better. So each and every one of them are participating in helping us, if that answers the question. But a lot of people that are low vision are part of Innovega helping us.
Yeah, I would say, in ex-operational team members,
Yeah,
we have our low vision advocates. We don't have those with significant visual impairments on our team, but we do have, optical clinicians, ophthalmologists who are literally for decades have been working hand in hand on an individual basis with eye patients.
yeah,
And they are leading the charge in in the technology is developed. And it's really eye-opening because Mark and I get to experience the engineering team with the clinician team, and often the perspectives are very different. And Innovega is finding a really amazing way to amalgamate those two perspectives on this product development journey to make sure that we go to market with something that is substantiated by those that we're planning to serve. When it's time to buy the glasses, where would you go? We will be letting everybody know, and it'll be directly on our website. There'll be a page right on the website. So through our campaign updates, through our emails to our investor community, we'll provide clarity on that. What will be the impact if the FDA doesn't approve your eye technology? Well, the good thing is with our smart glasses alone, which is what's going to be coming to market in 2026, there's no FDA approvals required. So it's a non-issue for the smart glasses. For our Gen 2 product rollout, which is smart glasses combined with smart contacts, um, if the FDA doesn't approve it, obviously we can't move forwards, but we've already completed phase one and phase two testing. We've already preparing for phase three. So far, so good on that front. And we've had excellent results with the FDA testing.
Joseph, I think somebody asked about the share price.
What did they ask?
They
What
said, was it
you
how
asked?
much is he investing in it? Maybe you could share to everybody that we're on Start Engine right now, and you can buy shares at $3.
Yep. Share price is the same as it's been $3 since our initial fundraising efforts. Steve and the board strategically made that decision just for consistency and to preserve long-term early shareholder value over time. That does not mean we'll be holding it firm moving forwards. And I'm going to put in the chat right now a link to the campaign page where you can go learn more and where you can go purchase shares for the $3 per share price. Um, and from what I have heard, it seems like this will be the last opportunity to buy shares at that price. Um, just moving through the questions. I appreciate everyone's time. I know it's 9:02, so we're a little over time, but we're happy to go through all of your questions while we're all here together. And Mark,
I'm
yeah.
okay. I'm okay on time. So if we have to go over a few minutes, that's okay with me.
Okay. How much funding do you estimate that you need before your product can generate sufficient amount of income? Good question. I'm not sure how to answer that exactly. I mean, the product that's already been developed is already substantial enough to generate sufficient income. I am not privy to how much our manufacturing costs are, but I do know that we are doing this at a world-class level to compete and beat the best of the competition in this space. So it's not cheap. And that's why these fundraising campaigns are incredibly important for us to achieve our mission and to help those that we set out to serve. No low vision person who is interested. How would you become a candidate for participating in the test studies? Is there a contact person whom he can write? Once again, I would say go to innovega.io/demo. There's a pretty comprehensive intake form where you can share your visual condition, share your needs, share your struggles, and then our clinician team will determine if you're a good fit for a in-person testing. I will say, we get hundreds and hundreds of applications. So at this stage, only a select few are getting through, just because we only have a certain amount of doctors who are all there in the room with you. So even if you don't get it selected for a demo, we'll be staying in touch. We may be offering more demos later, and there's still a very good chance that we can support you. Will I be able to get the glasses through the VA? Uh,
We're talking to the VA, so that's a good question.
do you have any other insights on that you can share?
Not we're just talking to them in the works, but if I'm not mistaken, a lot of the companies, Joseph, you may know that there's Stephen mentioned that, like if you work at Microsoft, they set up a certain dollar amount that they provide for glasses. I think it was $800 or $1,000. But maybe our next webinar we could address that. But we're working with all different the VA. Yes, we're definitely working with them.
Yeah, and I know that like HSA
Yeah,
FSA
there you go.
funds
Yeah.
can be utilized for these types of products.
Yes.
I also know that, there's conversations with the insurance providers to make sure we provide all kinds of different pathways to financially cover these. And again, this segues into the next question, who are you considering as your competition? We consider anyone who's been making the goggles and making what they call smart glasses for the visually impaired, Idaptic, eSight, for example. And really, what our market positioning is going to be is to have the best in breed product. So glasses you can literally wear all day long that provide better performance, bigger fields of display than any of the competition, and at a lesser price point. We really want to just come with maximum value for everyone that we're serving. We know a lot of those in the low vision community are not necessarily the wealthiest people on the planet, and it's important for us to make these accessible so we can help as many people as possible. When do you expect break-even cash flow positive status, or is that even needed for a successful exit? Well, at one point on our journey, we did do $6 million contract with the U.S. government, the defense agency. So we have, already had an interesting journey financially. But we do expect that over the next 12 months, we'll be selling a significant amount of the first pairs, and likely will achieve that in that period of time.
And
Um,
on that note too, Joseph, some of the biggest companies in the world are watching what we're doing. So
like who?
no, they can't share that. But some of the biggest companies in the world are watching us. So you just never know what happens. But Innovega is going to be extremely successful.
And Wayne asks, how are the Innovega smart glasses different from those existing ones in the market today? Based on my understanding, again, I'm going to kind of repeat what was just said, but the glasses themselves, the form factor is wearable. It's as close to a regular pair of glasses as you can get. And it's extremely difficult to do that. That's why most of the competing products look kind of like space age things that you would not really want to wear all day in order to get this type of performance. For example, some of the bigger kind of VR goggles was the only way that you could get some of this functionality in the past, which is why these types of products were not largely adopted up until this point. Innovega is leading the charge for new technologies, which is giving you wider fields of view in smaller and lighter hardware. Um, so that's kind of one of the biggest, differentiators. And then how the displays themselves work. I have had a chance to wear the glasses myself. And the first time I put them on, I couldn't believe what I was seeing in front of my face. It was kind of like space age, how they were doing it. It's not just a screen, in the glasses where you can't see the rest of the world. It's a really magical experience where you can fully function within your real field of view as well as this digital overlay that you have full control over. I've never seen anything like it, and I know that the technology is only getting better from here. So lots of pretty exciting things about what's making Innovega's tech different. The one thing about us is we've been doing it forever. So, we've been really deep in the research, clinical research, really deep in the market research, and we're trying to take every step really comprehensively to make sure that we're in the right position at the end of the day. So um, I would say, our approach to the technology itself is different from many of the competitors who are just trying to get to market. For example, Meta smart glasses, it's a completely different thing than what we're offering. They offer something like a 15 degree field of view. It's just for general, kind of consumer adoption. We offer a 50-degree field of view. So it's a completely different experience, especially for those who have limited vision capabilities. So that's the last question in the chat. Thank you, everyone, for staying on. We really appreciate you. We're here for you, and we hope that you'll be here for us as well. I'm just going to remind everyone I did put the campaign link in the chat. Please go check it out. Please tell your friends who might be interested in supporting this mission and joining our community. We're here for all of you, and we look
And
forward.
Joseph, and a quick, you all are going to be spending time with people during the holidays. So if you can, go to the Innovega, our homepage, and the video that we have, share it with everybody at your Christmas gatherings. It's pretty moving when somebody watches our video. It's, again, close to 4 million people have viewed it. So if you haven't watched it, please watch it and share it with everybody. And if you're one of the current investors in Innovega, thank you so very much. And if you're thinking about investing in Innovega, I would encourage you to follow our journey and get involved.
I'm
There
going to
you
put
go.
I'm going to put that video in the chat right now as well. And one last question Barry had for us. What will your glasses impact on ophthalmologists' business revenue? And I will say that we are working closely with ophthalmologists right now, and there is many avenues for us to partner with different clinical practices.
And
And
that note too, Joseph, we're in talks with Walmart and Costco. So they would love to have our technology.
right, so big box stores as well as the ophthalmologist clinical route, where we have formalized partnerships, and Innovega is a part of the offerings ophthalmologists can provide to their patients. And that's why we have them on our team, is to understand their current business uh, operation, how we can integrate. So we're going to wrap it up at that. Thank you, everyone, so much. If you have follow-up questions, anything we didn't touch upon, please send us an email to social@innovega.io, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the next one. And thank you so much, Mark. We appreciate you every day.
Thank you.
Bye.